over to the desk and let me show you what we're using. So we are using the Blooming Bunch from Studio Katia. We're going to be using this beautiful flower arrangement. I just feel like it really is going to look super cool. And by coloring with Copics on the back side of that vellum is going to make it look super fun, super easy card to make. Then we're going to trim out our vellum cardstock out of this dotted pattern set of 3. So it's this beautiful rectangle die. And again, we're going to die cut the vellum out of that rectangle. And so this is kind of a vellum that has a little bit of texture. You can use whatever you like, but I really want to show you how easy it is to make this card. For our background is going to be this yellow cardstock. So you're going to need just a piece of cardstock, the vellum, the die cut, the stamp, and then we're going to do some white embossing powder. And for our embellishment, we're using the Studio Katia Drops Mix 1. And so this has a couple sizes. I believe it has 3 sizes, large, medium, and small. And so we are going to begin by die cutting our vellum from the dotted patterns. And guys, I'm so excited you're here with me today. I know I have a cold. I've had a cold for weeks. Probably gonna go get a chest x-ray soon, see what in the world is going on. But until then, stick with me. I'm so sorry, but hey, we're crafting, right? And I feel good enough to be crafting. So we're gonna die cut this out, and I'm gonna be using my Gemini. And so I am gonna pop you guys out for just a minute so you guys aren't listening to this super loud. And then we're gonna bring in our white embossing powder, and we're gonna stamp and heat set with white embossing powder. All right, so when filming live, we have to have things pre-cut, right? Because you don't really need to see me die cut this from that dotted patterns 3. So guys, stay with me. We are going to continue on. We're going to start the actual stamping part here. And excuse my Misty. So we're going to bring in a Misty stamp positioner. What this is going to do is really going to allow us to keep our image in check and keep it where we need it. And so with that being said, I am using my magnet, but because we are using such a large image, I like to use a purple tape. And so purple tape is just a little bit of masking tape. We're going to pop it off on the back, and that way it kind of really holds our cardstock, and it's ready to go. We're going to bring in the Studio Katia stamp set. This is again the Blooming Bunch. And we're going to show you how we're going to place it. And I know that you guys know how to place things in stamp positioners, but sometimes, again, when using vellum, the magnet cannot be enough. And you don't have to be using a Mystic. You can use whatever you like. So we're going to place that right in the center. I'm going to make sure it's going to be nice and pretty. And our sentiment's going to go in a different piece of cardstock. So we're going to just make sure that that's nice and set up. Let's see what we got and see how that did and left up because we're using that masking. So now we're going to move on to the actual stamping and embossing. I have my watermark ink. I'm going to ink up the whole thing. And again, this is a really cool way to use any of your Studio Katia stamps. So if you're using, you know, if you're looking for a birthday, you can use the balloons. If you're looking for Christmas, you can use the Christmas presents. So there's a lot of possibilities by doing this specific technique with your Studio Katia stamp. So we're going to stamp down, and then we will lift up. So we're going to lift. And you can see it's pretty well inked up, so we're just going to remove it. Pop this over to the side. Be sure to comment when there is a giveaway for those that are watching live. And then if you share the restream, there is that giveaway. So we will, I will tag the winner at the end of the live stream for those that are watching live. And then I'll put in the date below here in this video at the end of the live to restream and when the restreaming closes. So when you are watching on not live, when you're watching like on the rewind of it, and you comment on this before a specific date, then you get a chance to win one of the Studio Katia gift cards. So let me know what platform you guys are watching. We are live on Facebook, and we are live on the Studio Katia YouTube. And we really like to know what works best for you. I feel like we get more viewers over on Facebook just because It's just a little, you know, gives you that notification. There we go. And so I'm just going to give it one last run. Be sure that you don't overheat white embossing powder. It does tend to disappear. And let me add a little bit of color in the back, and look how cool that turned out. So we're going to let this cool. Just going to shake it a little bit. And I'm going to bring my bucket of Copics. And so we're going to color the image. And I know this is a little bit different than what other tutorials we've had, because we're going to actually color on the back of this card to make it look like a stained glass. Okay, so I feel like this is nice and cool. Yep, we're safe. And I'm going to bring in this yellow cardstock just so you can see a little bit of that contrast. I'm going to zoom in and hold you guys there. There we are. And we're going to start coloring. So my thought process, we're going to be doing some pinks. And when you're doing the coloring, you don't actually have to do any blending. Just stay within that flower would make it super, super easy. So again, very rough coloring, not a ton of blending. And it's just a really fun effect. So we're going to continue here. Okay. We're going to move on to a different color. So I think we are going to do our leaves, and I'm selecting really bright colors, and the reason why is that I really want this to pop up. So we're going to do GY17. Okay. And I am not kidding. This is easy. It almost feels kind of like cheating in my opinion. So again, guys, be sure to comment. Let me know where you guys are watching from. What time is it where you're at? Location. What are you hoping to learn here with Studio Katia? And guys, I can't wait for Creativation. So Creativation is coming up. Creativation, if you don't know what it is the stamping party. Move on to RV32. And so new releases coming from Studio Katia, of course. And I can't wait to show you what we're doing now. Of course, I'm going to be showing you live the new release. So I can't wait to pop on over here. And there's going to be a giveaway, of course, because that's what Katia likes to do. Katia is the owner of Studio Katia. And so she's very quite generous when it comes to you guys. All right, so we have one left, and I feel like we should do a red just to really make it pop. So we're gonna do R46, and the name of this is Strong Red. And you could very well do some blending, but I'm just gonna keep it very simple, as long as we stay within those lines. Okay. And just make sure that the entire image is covered. All right, so now that it's done, we are going to do the outer part, and this is what really gives it that stained glass look. So we are going to bring in a blue, and I feel like we need to do baby blue. This is B21. Now I'm going to remove this because I don't want to end up getting that beautiful yellow cardstock covered, and we're just going to color all around to the edge of the stitching of the die cut. Okay. All right. Continue coloring. And guys, are you just so excited for Valentine's Day? I feel like we jumped from Thanksgiving right after Christmas, and then it's been Christmas, go, go, go. And now we are on Valentine's Day. So this would work really nicely as a Valentine's Day card. And so as you can see, if you touch your Copic especially with this light blue color onto that pink, it kind of rubs off on it. So if you just have an extra sheet of paper, so what I'm doing over here, this is going to be the back side, you can clean off your Copic and then move on and move back to your coloring. But make sure that you get the entire stitching. And then let me show you, I'm going to put this marker away and show you what we got here. Look how cool that is, right? From blah to wah. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out. So I'm going to bring back this yellow cardstock. We're going to do a little bit of gluing here. So I have my Tombow mono adhesive, and I'm just going to run the roller and just kind of do it an itty bitty because I don't want it to show through. And then we're going to put it right in the center. And you could very well do white cardstock. I just feel this really makes it nice and soft. It has that beautiful stained glass look. Super, super pretty. We're going to bring in a piece of cardstock for our sentiment, and we are going to do light blue. And with this being alive, totally didn't grab my cardstock. So I have my piece right here. Sorry about that. And we're going to stamp the sentiment. Move my Copics over. We're going to bring in our stamp set again. And we're going to do You're So Wonderful. Because I feel like that's just a good overall, you know, we're talking about Valentine's Day. You could totally use this for a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever you got going on. And it would be appropriate because it would just be a really fun and sweet compliment to send. So what I was doing, I'm lining up my stamp. I'm going to bring back my embossing ink, get it nice and saturated, and then I'm going to stamp down here so I can cut that strip. I got you guys out of focus. There we go. Nothing like alive. And then we're going to bring in our white embossing powders. So I hope you're enjoying this technique. I'm really trying to bring in older sets from Studio Cadia that you might already have, or favorites from Studio Cadia that other crafters love, and then using them in various different techniques. And you know, there's so many wonderful floral images from Studio Cadia that I think you could do really anything, like we were talking about earlier, doing birthday cards with the balloons, the balloon stamps. So super easy. And you know, if you caught our last live, I believe it was like 2 weeks ago, right before Christmas, we did background steps, like 3 ways to use your background steps. So you could totally use your background stamp with this stained glass technique. Would be very easy. Okay, so I got my trimmer, got my sentiment, and now we can pop our sentiment right where we want it. So I'm going to be using a little bit of foam adhesive. So foam adhesive, you're going to laugh. If you guys live in the US, I bought this at the dollar store. And they're like tiny craft supplies. I think it's like floral and stuff. And it's actually really good, and it's nice and thick. So if you are in the US, Dollar Tree on that one. And that's shameless plug just because it's just a good place to get some of these products. And I know Studio Cadia has some foam adhesive as well. Especially if you're doing shaker cards, you want to get your foam adhesive from Cadia. So we're going to put it right on the center. I know it's kind of blocking some of our beautiful coloring, but that's okay. You have the blue with the blue and the pink. Now we are going to finish up our card with the Studio Cadia Clear Mix one. And I'm going to be linking all the products that are in the Studio Cadia store down below so you guys can pop on over. And if you don't have the specific stamp set, you can go and get it. And if you don't have it, or you do have it, then I can't wait to see if you use this technique when creating a card. So I know the new year can be a little bit tough, especially right after Christmas, and so I'm really wanting to bring you guys some, some tutorials that utilize some of the stamps that we might already have. Okay, so we're gonna put that in there. And guys, I'm finishing up with this video. I want to thank you for spending a couple minutes with me here. I know that there are lots of things to be doing, and hope you guys are staying warm if you are in our side of the hemisphere. And there you have it. Very fun. Again, I'm going to link all the products down below. Be sure to like the live, and then if you like it or comment, you get an entry to win a $15 gift card to the Studio Cat store. And then if you're watching on rewatch, and I will put the date when the giveaway ends, you are eligible to win that too if you share this video on Facebook. I know that's just an option on Facebook to do, is to click that share button. And then you're on YouTube, you can still enter to win by subscribing and clicking a like, and no purchase is necessary. So guys, that does it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this super easy card, and we're doing some stained glass coloring, very messy coloring, super easy to do with some older Studio Cat stems. This is Crystal Thompson. Guys, thank you so much. I'm popping off of here. See you later.